right, good morning. Dolly and I are in Yosemite National Forest, and we're going to do a review on the Crane Flats Campground, which is where we're staying. That's about 15 minutes or 30 miles from Yosemite Valley. This campground's a little different than North Pines or Upper Pines or Lower Pines because you can make reservations 14 days out, not 6 months out. So that worked out great. I actually made reservations in September for Upper Pines before I knew we were coming to Yosemite on this trip. And I'm glad we came now, and I'm glad we decided to come to this campground. We went down to Yosemite Valley yesterday, which is where the store and the lodge and those 3 campgrounds are. And that's where El Capitan and the larger waterfalls are. It's the main tourism epicenter. And Upper Pines and those are near there. When I drove through there, it's just too many people for me. There's pedestrians everywhere. I don't want to camp like that, so I'm going to be canceling those reservations in September, and also because I got to come here now. Crane Flats has been amazing. It's quiet. It has been closed for several years, so they've done a lot of work on it, and we're going to walk through and show you some of the sites. We're in Loop 4. I'll show you where we are, and I'm going to describe some of the sites to you. It's hard for me online to look at the sites, or the photos on the website and see exactly what they're talking about. And I ended up in a parallel spot, which was my mistake. I should have read it better, but it's still a great spot for a truck camper. And we're going to walk through and talk to you about some of the grades or the levelness of the pad, and show you a couple sites that I have seen different types of vehicles fit in. So hopefully you'll enjoy it, and I'll try and walk through some different pads. Thank you. We are pulling into Crane Flats Campground at the checkpoint. And it's a nice road in. Of course it is, Yosemite National Park. As we come in, you'll first see Loop 1 on the left, which I've never turned in, so we will just for this video. My reviews, you will see, are mostly in Loop 4, which is where I'm staying, and Loop 5, because it's right next to where I'm staying. But it all looks the same, all nice bare boxes and flat spaces. Some are 10 only. Some have a little bit of a grade, which I describe later on when I go through section 4. That right there to the right would have been a double spot. Looks like they got parking right there for some extra vehicles. And this is nice and shaded, the same as section 4 and 5. All very similar. Next section here on the left is section 2. Looks a lot like section 1. Both of them have these dumpsters up here to dump your trash, and there's an area there on the left for extra vehicles. And when you come to this intersection, you can go right to section 5,
which you will see later on in this video. Make a left, and if you keep going up the hill, you're in section 4. That's where I'm staying. And if you make this left, you come into section 300, which I have not been in or walked in yet, so we'll drive through it. All the sections are pretty much next to each other, but they got a little space between them. And this, just like the others, has a couple single spots, some double spots. Look like a lot of areas for vehicle and tent camping, and some areas for truck camping. Looks like some of these double spaces, if you had a pull behind camper, you'd probably have to put it in, unhook it, and then park your vehicle next to it. And there is the bath, or the bathrooms. There's no showers for section 3, and that's consistent with what they look like in all sections. So let's start with the campsite I'm in. Fire ring, nice new bear boxes, nice new picnic tables. This is a downward slope up to my truck, which is parallel parked up on the highway, which we'll walk up and see. Let me get old Dolly up and at 'em and ready for a walk. So Loop 4 has 2 facilities for bathroom and well, just bathroom, no showers. This is 404. I saw a Mercedes van in here last night, and then when we come down here just below 404, that's the only one I've seen with an RV in here. Of course, I don't know the length of their RV, but I'm guessing it's right about 38 or 40 feet, and it's fairly level. Here's another example of what I would call their description of a severe slope. That's 412. Probably wouldn't want a truck camper on that one. Here's some nice smaller sites around 410 and 408 that are 10 only sites, but you can definitely fit a vehicle in there. Here's another example of a parallel spot. Now, there are very few, but there are a couple loops. This is actually my brother's truck and trailer, and he was able to get a loop here, but his picnic tables, it's actually a double site, but his picnic tables are exposed to the sun, so he's been hanging out at mine where the shade is. As you already guessed, the trees around here are just amazing. My campsite backs up to the, I would call, an out of bounds area. I mean, you can walk back there, but there's no camping beyond there. This is actually the entrance to Loop 5, or the 500 loop. And I'll do, well, the 500 loop right here. Pull-offs are about the same as 400. Actually, all the loops are about the same. They have parallels and back ends. I've only seen that one loop. But I'm not going to go through all the loops because I really do care about people's privacy. They're trying to camp and they're thinking, who's this weirdo with the camera? And here's a bass facility, and if you zoom in, you can see the standard spigot there. They're all about the same. So we're standing in the 500 loop. That RV is in the 400 loop. It's generally not this close, but this is where they kind of all converge into the same place. So they are the loops are a little closer in that situation. But as you can see, you still walk all the way down to the stop sign to exit Loop 5. Here's a parallel one where you park parallel and you camp right on the road. It's 510. I don't think I picked that one I wouldn't be real happy with that, but some may like it. So I really like these two. 512, nice flat pad, and you step down into a good open spot. 513, nice flat pad. Now you would go up to several steps to a nice tent spot, and you could put a pickup truck camper in here too if they allow it. You'd have to look on the website. So this is 519 and 520. I believe they're going to be tent only, but if you look up through the woods, up the hill, that's where I am at 419. So this is 521. This is a parallel site. And just so you know, this is what they're going to mean when they say quite a few steps going down to the campground site or your picnic area or tent site.
After our walk, of course, it was time for Dolly to nap again. I hope this basic review helps you out a little bit. If you're going to go to Crane Flats, it was really nice. It was 15 minutes away from the valley, and it was really just a peaceful campground to stay in that was well maintained. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you. And like and subscribe. I'm going to try and do as many campground reviews as possible.